Everybody, we're back so soon. Today's cup, the Jaws cup. My daughter Jade will be delighted with that one, and she'll be delighted that she got mentioned on YouTube. So that's the cup for today with some nice coffee in it. So yeah, today I'll just cover a couple of things that are up there in the night sky to look at, should it be clear. This is Ireland, so the chances are it probably won't. And I'll select one thing that went out to a customer today, and we'll just run through the reasons why they chose that particular thing. So yeah, let's get to it. So a couple of things that are up there tonight, should you be out. You'll have to be up incredibly late to see them. Planet wise, from about 2 o'clock in the morning, you'll see Saturn come up at 2, Mars will be up at about 3, and Jupiter will be up at about 4. Saturn is the easiest one of the lot to see. Jupiter's quite close to the sun, you know, he's quite difficult to catch at the moment. And Mars, as ever, anyone that comes in here to the shop and has a chat with us about Mars, it just always lets us down, even when it's as close as it can possibly ever be and as bright as it can ever be. So those things are up there for you to chase in the middle of the night, if you fancy staying up. So here in Ireland, just in case you're, you know, looking from way abroad and not quite as north as us, it gets dark here at about like 11 o'clock at the moment. You're almost at midsummer. So we don't get a whole lot of darkness, maybe about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and it never truly gets properly dark. That's just one of the challenges we face here in addition to the clouds, which are a lot. Just looking out the window here, that's why I'm looking over that way at the clouds, and it's like thick white and grey cloud, probably rainy clouds as well. But yeah, it means that when you do get the clear nights, you have to get out there and use the telescope that you have. Or do your astrophotography or whatever it might be. You really can't afford in this country to pass up a clear night and go, I'm not in the humour, or I couldn't be bothered or something. And that also leads to a lot of the reasoning behind why we recommend some of the gear that we do. A lot of it is based on quick to set up, quick to strip down if where possible. Portability, maybe even if you're going somewhere kind of away from your house, in order to see for maybe a darker sky or something. So yeah, here in Ireland, and probably for most of kind of Northern Europe and the UK and that, it is hard to catch a break with the clouds. So you got to seize them nights when they arrive. So one of the orders that went out today, there was a couple of them went out, was for a telescope. Again, like yesterday's one, it was a broadly similar budget, somewhere in around the 300 area. Instead, this time, rather than it being for one of the children in the family, it was for a partner. It was his birthday, and the telescope that we chose was a manually controlled telescope. In this case, it was the Skywatcher EvoStar 90 AZ3. There's a couple of reasons we chose that. And this particular person didn't have a whole lot of free time. They had some young kids, kind of like myself. They worked quite late into the evening, so when they got home and actually managed to get out under the skies, they needed a telescope that was very quick to set up, maybe even one that they could just lift up, carry out and put back down, and it had to be very easy to use. So the EvoStar 90 AZ3 is a 90mm refractor. It's quite long scope, it's about just shy of 1 meter long in total, so it's not a small thing. It's a 90mm aperture, so it's a decent enough size for an adult and that. And it has your typical Altaz mount, which is your up, down, left, right, very simple to use. And this particular mount has 2 slow motion controls that come out the back of it, and you turn them. One of them turns it, you move it up and down, and the other one you turn, it moves it left and right. So it's quite easy to track objects and follow objects and even scoot across the sky to other stuff. You can also just grab the telescope and swing it around that object as well. You don't necessarily have to slow motion your way across the sky, which will take you forever. So it comes with 2 eyepieces and a finder scope. It's about as easy a telescope as you can get to set up. We have one here on display in the shop because it's a very popular scope. 90mm refractor is an incredibly popular scope. We use it for outreach events as well. When we do outreach events with some of the clubs, we drag that along, as well as some other telescopes. And the reason we bring this particular scope along, I keep looking over at it there because it's right there. The reason we bring that one along is I can just set it up and just leave it and just let the members of the public just fire around looking for stuff themselves. You can look at the moon, the next person will come along and look at Jupiter, the next person will come along, look at something else. So I can kind of just leave it to do its thing while I'm usually setting up some sort of automated go-to telescope to make, you know, the night a bit quicker for other people, or see other objects or whatever that might not be so easy to find. So, and that was the criteria for the scope, quite simple. So they went ahead and purchased it. It's gone out today. Should be with them Monday maybe, which is the next working day. And hopefully they'll get it set up. And again, as usual, any problems with setup or anything, or using it or anything, a lot of people would use the chat app on the website. It's the easiest way to get us, because the app that's operated on is on the personal phone, not the work phone. So I'm always on that phone anyway. So it doesn't matter whether it's into the evening or whatever, we'll always answer messages that come in on that, as most people would be aware that do messages from it. So we're always here to support people. I've been into this hobby since I was 10. I'm now nearing 50. So it's a long time looking up at the night sky, using gear, buying the wrong gear, all that sort of stuff, which is why we like speccing as near as we can get it, the correct kind of gear for somebody, based on questions that they might answer for their needs. So yeah, the link should be in the description, all going well. Skywatcher EvoStar 90 AZ3 was their pick for today. And yeah, I don't know what's happening over the weekend. I don't know what the skies are going to be like, but if we're right, we'll try and do a video out, even if it's out at the house, looking up at the night sky with the kids maybe or something. We'll try get something out. And yeah, so that's it for today's one. Over and out.